Hello everyone and welcome to my highlights of the AOR Season 12 GP2 Austrian Grand Prix. And here we are in qualifying. Yes, this is my first league race on F1 2016, and I finally decided to actually join league racing once again, and I wanted a bit of time off. And the reason for that was because obviously at the end of 2015 we went straight on 2016, and league racing was just, the game just came out very much just after we finished 2015 league racing. So I didn't really want to start again, and we're here in qualifying, doing our fastest lap in qualifying, which wasn't that great. My fastest actually was actually a 83. You'll see what this is actually at the end, and it wasn't that good. But I am a reserve in this league, so I'm probably driving different cars each week that I race. But I'm not on the top of the reserves list. But after this result, it's just it's a build-up process to try and get a full seat in the league, and I'm hoping that can come sooner rather than later. Now, yes, the lap has been quite understimulated in the curb there, and that's lost us a lot of time. And I will warn you that the audio is a bit out of place. I'll try and dim that down as much as I can throughout this video so you don't notice it too much. But it's quite annoying, and it's because of Twitch. But you see Taylor Volt's actually going faster than an ultra soft time on 107.8. For us, obviously, Super Soft were probably the best tires to qualify on, because in the race we didn't know if it was going to be dry or wet, so we just went on Super Soft, which is a better race tire than the ultra soft, because ultra soft only lasts like what, 6 laps at maximum. But here we come, to the line. I'm actually doing an 8.8, and I'll show you my fastest qualifying lap in the Williams that I did online, which was actually an 8.3 on Super Soft, so we'll see that at the end of the video. But that is where we're going to qualify, which is not that great. So we start the race in 10th place, which for me, not bad. I wish I got knocked out, and I was hoping I was going to get knocked out, but I didn't in the end by ultra soft runners. So we will start in P10, which is not too bad. But I was wishing to start outside that and start on the soft compound. So we're going to reduce our fuel load here and get ready to start the race. And sort of got rain expecting actually, sort of midway through the Grand Prix. So that's going to be interesting. That's spice things up. So this is going to be a really interesting Grand Prix. I feel I had a good race pace. So here we go, revving for 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix. And here we go. Lights out and away we go, and we get a pretty good start. But Comundo has had an absolute lag start, and that is one of the biggest lag starts I've seen actually in league racing history. But now our safety car's already been deployed, and we've already got a safety car, and this really got very confusing because not many AOR leagues actually race with the safety car, but we are running it, and oh my god, it just how much bunching up we're all doing here. It was very confusing actually. It was very roaring actually, because like, we've got through turn 1 and safety car was already deployed. In some ways, it's good for me because then at least I didn't have the responsibility to take someone out and be a bit stupid in the first lap. But it all neutralized the wrong Grand Prix. It was really slow and dull throughout this, and it was just horrible. I can't really describe it, but yeah, just how slow the cars were going. I thought someone had some sort of like lag issue or something like that, and someone was actually having an issue, but no, that wasn't the case. It was just they were just going awfully slow, which is fair enough to try and keep a good gap to each other. But yeah, lap 2 here, and we're right behind this queue right now, and you'll see a very surprising thing happening in front of me, which could have actually really helped us count the order. And look at that, Surpriseman's actually gone, who's been absolutely brilliant in this league so far. Like, I've been watching him, and he's been really good. And we're now up to P8 now as a result, so I don't know how you can actually spin under a safety car. I'm guessing he had some sort of collision with someone, but we're right behind Coldhead right now, and that is excellent. We're into P8. We're really doing sort of 2 positions up from where we started, so that's really good. And I just sort of got really lucky actually, if I'm being honest. I mean, we lost the position to Camino at the start, and then it's all sort of neutralized right now. So we're getting ready to restart the race in the next lap. Right, we're right behind Coldhead right now, ready to get going once again for this Grand Prix. And I haven't done many of these restarts, so it's going to be interesting to see how we get going here. And just bunching up now, ready to go in, and you'll see how bad the restart was for us. And it just basically, I think it was third or fourth place. We just really slow off the line and really caught us off guard, and into the corner. And look at that much oversteer we get, and it was just horrible. In the last corner, we cut it because we were so slow off the penultimate corner, which I fit in the run on the last corner. And we see Stepping Gymnast is right behind us right now, looking to challenge us into turn 1, and he does have a look at the inside, but he thinks better of it, which is obviously coming from him. And we cut the corner there as well, so our entire last part of this lap, of the first beginning of this lap and towards the end of the last lap, it's been absolutely dreadful. Corner cutting, being crap basically, and it's positioning. And look at how close we get to the Coldhead there as well, and that was ultra close, and that could have ended up really badly. And I think he's also getting held up by people in front of him as well. So for us and him, I think me and Coldhead throughout this race, you'll see, we're very closely matched for the whole entire Grand Prix, which also was very positive for me. We see, I think it's Dast as well, Dast and Urban's Octane are battling away, and they really are holding me and Coldhead up right now. And we're going to be in a battle between these three for the whole Grand Prix. I'm just going to try and get past these guys as quick as we can. And I felt at this stage that I had the pace, but this Mercedes was so different to drive compared to something like the Williams or like any other car I've driven. The Mercedes was very different. I just say it was really unsteery for me. I don't know what it was. But here we go. And look how slow they're all going. I had to really be patient here. You don't want to go for anything right now. And Upland's Octane had a really bad exit. And here we go, in the slipstream, we also got Stubborn Gymnast following us through too, and he's looking for a move too. And we're in the slipstream of Octane, going into turn 1, and look at that, Stubborn Gymnast gets up the inside, and he sort of nudges his, that was just so close, and if I wasn't aware of that, I would have been absolutely killed. But here comes College as well, he got a really good run out of that. And here he comes up the inside into corner 2. And he's going to look at the inside. We're going to try and break as late as we can. We're going to give him as much room as we can. And we get through that okay in the 6th place. So that was really good so far. And now Newland Dust is actually next up on our bucket list. So really good so far. And we're really just trying to do what we can to try and stay ahead of Coldhead, who really has the pace right now, as I was struggling with this dodgy Mercedes. And it was mainly because of the high fuel. I had plus 2 laps of fuel off the safety car. I wasn't used to that. But now in lap 5, and we're still quite close to Newland Dust, and I think he was suffering from the same problems as me. He was really lacking pace at the start of the Grand Prix, and Coldhead now is looking for a move up the inside of the penultimate corner. We're going to leave him the room, plenty of room. I'm just going to let him go here, and now I'm going to try and get a nice run out of the last corner, which we do, and nice change in the camera views there, nice RB button near the RT button. Interception now, Coldhead right now. I'm looking for a move up the inside, and no, it was too far away. And then a good exit through the first corner. And we do get that. He got on a little bit of the curb there. And we use a bit of rich mix here in the slipstream. Can we make anything of this with Coldhead? And we're trying to move up the inside of corner 2. Can we make this one stick here again? We've been battling for the whole lap, and he squeezed off a little bit, and we actually had to cut the corner there. Now, I don't think he knew I was there, so I think he sort of deliberately tried to slow his cars to avoid me, and actually gave me a penalty. And that hurt really. I can't really blame him for that. I'm assuming it's just his mistake, and I wasn't going to take it as serious because, if I'm being honest, he didn't mean any harm by it. It was just a classic little mistake, and I wasn't going to take it as a racing incident at the end of the day. And it didn't cost me in the end anyway. But he got in front of Newland Dust eventually, and on lap 7, I'm right behind him, and look, goes so wide there. It's unbelievable. And here we go on the curb once again. And this was last sector on this lap was absolutely horrible. And then in DRS range now of Newland Dust, he's going to be under pressure into his next sort of straight here. And we're going to try and get past him. We're going to try and do what we did Coldhead a couple of laps ago. And here we go. In the slipstream, we're going to go to the outside here. Can we make this one stick? We're going to try and leave as much room as we can. We're going to go around the outside. We do a very similar move to what we do Coldhead. Coldhead actually is right behind Marty Midget as well, his own teammate. And we went around the outside on Newland Dust. That was a really good move for us. And up to 5th place. So really good progression for this Grand Prix. And so far so good. We're really close to the leaders as well at this stage. So pace was looking really good. And you know, I could see a podium in sight. So really good so far for my first race back on the game, and I'm back doing league racing since 2015. So I was just really excited for this Grand Prix. I thought everything was going to plan. Which is awesome, but we obviously knew that rain was coming. But Newland Dust is still right behind us right now. He's carrying on in the stream, and so far it's just been awesome. We're into P3 right now. I think a couple of guys have pitted, and this was the problem throughout this Grand Prix. My engineer was not talking to me whatsoever, so I couldn't actually. He wasn't telling me about weather, so he wasn't telling me about like when the rain was to come in. So pretty much I was alone in this Grand Prix, and it's something to do with the settings I've done online with the engineer, and I believe I need to sort of find a way to fix that. In now lap 11, we're going to come into the pits, and you'll see it's going to be for some soft tyres. Pit entry was absolutely horrible. Nice corner, nice curb there. We'll see how good the entry is, and it's pretty spot on actually. We've got this quite spot on all weekend, so that's quite nice. But we're going to have some soft tyres, which actually later became the worst decision in the world, because the soft tyres were just horrible. It lasted very long, but hadn't this been a dry race, it would have worked very well. But this is not a complete dry race. And we got that pit lane. Obviously, it was very bright before we came in. As it came out, the clouds were in. The clouds came in and it was really cloudy, and you can see visually how dark the track's got within like a couple of clouds. I'm actually right in front of the mighty midget, so we're quite lucky here. We managed to get in front of the mighty midget and Jordan McGonigal, who's right behind him too, and we'll try and hope we can stay in this position. But it's quite far away back because actually Nine Das got the undercut on us on the Supersoft compound. So right at this stage of the Grand Prix, I knew it wasn't the right decision, and I didn't. And also I knew I didn't want to give it up. But here comes the mighty midget, who's really closed in, and he's really got speed on those soft tires really quickly. And last corner now, and we get a pretty meh exit, and here he comes. He's looking for a move here. He's looking good. We're going to leave him room up the inside. We're going to let him have the inside line. We're not going to fight him too hard. And we're going to let him up the inside. We're going to try and get a cut back on him, which we don't really get, if I'm being honest. We're pretty meh. But we're in substitution right now, using Rich once again, and we're closing the gap. Here we go. We're going to go try and go to the outside, no, go to the inside. And we're going to go up the inside here of the mighty midget, and we get the move done just about, and we show him where the room is. That's up to P12 once again. But yeah, the soft tyres became the worst decision ever, and the rain was coming in very quickly, and the engineer was not telling me about it. No matter how much what I do, I'd even try and communicate with the engineer, and he wasn't giving me anything. So really irritating here, and I do feel that I could have done better. I could have got a better result. And once again, we actually are catching into Nine Das here on the super soft, so he's struggling on those, and we get 2 moves down within 1 corner. We leave room for Oasis in the pit entry. We didn't want to cut into him there, and that run here, and my midget is going to be right on us. He gets a really good run through here, and here he comes. He's going to be in a DRS range once again, and here he comes. Going to go up the inside, is he? We're going to leave him room as much as possible, and here we go, up the inside. We leave him room, and a little bit of a contact there, and he goes and he spins. And I don't believe that was entirely my fault. I think that was a racing incident in my opinion. I think I left him room, and I think he might have locked up. But the rain is here right now. We're decided to take out an extra lap. And we're into P7, and Big Z's just up the road on his Ultra Softs. So hadn't I known about the rain, I think I probably would have done Ultra Softs as well, because he pitted a lap earlier before me. So it could have been a much more different race. And somebody told me to go on the Super Softs instead of the Softs, and I chose to go on the Softs. But here we come into pit lane for lap 17. This lap's been absolutely horrible. Really struggling to come with tyres in these wet conditions. And in the pit entry we come for our, which will be actually our last pit stop of the day. And we slow down nicely. And Big Z's actually in as well. And this won't be too much of a delay, which is very lucky from us. We had the gap to Big Z enough for us not to be held up enough. We actually had a 4.1 stop there. So I think if we had been closer to Big Z, it would have been more bigger of a gap, bigger pit stop. So luckily, not too much of a delay, and it shouldn't hurt us against the mighty midget. I think we'll come out in front of him there, which is nice to see. So into P7 we go, which is really where we'll be all race. We're gonna be here all race pretty much. But halfway through, and these inters will try and go to the end on them, with the hope that the conditions don't get worse. But there is plans that there will be. But throughout this whole Grand Prix, the engineer was not communicating with me whatsoever, and it was really tough because I had to pretty much predict what was going to happen. And I do believe that if I didn't go on soft tyres and I maybe pitted earlier, if I was told maybe the brain was coming in at sort of 15 laps, I think it might have been a different Grand Prix. And here we go, we're going to try and get Coldhead here actually, who's actually had an extra lap, and he's lost time to us, and he was quite in front of us. But yeah, just if I was told like maybe a lap 7 or 8 that 15 minutes until light rain, I would have come in that lap and I probably would have put on some super softs, and it might have helped our positioning a bit better, and might have helped us in these conditions. But we're into P6 right now, and this is where we'll be fighting for the whole Grand Prix really, because everyone else made the right strategy calls. Everyone in front made the right calls on the tyres beforehand, and actually came in a lap earlier. And right now lap 20 out of 36, and we were struggling in the last sector a lot with grip and the amount of oversteer we had in these intermediates. And I wasn't too bad on intermediates, but I wasn't as good as everyone else, and that is one thing that we need to sort of work on. Is definitely our wet pace on this game. The wet conditions are really hard on this game. We get on the curb there, and look at that. Cool, I actually got a nice exit there. He's in our slipstream, and I was still sort of burning fuel in this stage of the Grand Prix as well. Like the plus 2 laps of fuel really hurt us in the start with the understeer, and I just try to do the same thing and just try and put in lean revs, trying to help. And look at this, Coldhead actually had a nice exit for that turn 1 there, and he's actually looking for a move. Can he make this one stick here? He's in the slipstream. You can look at the inside, I give him the room, but he decides not to go for it, and I closed him off a little bit there. A bit naughty from me, but I was leaning into that corner. But not too bad otherwise, and me and Connor were actually just going all out for it in this Grand Prix. It was really a good battle with him, good battles with Big Z, Big Z, my midget, ignore me. And both Fry boys were battling away with me, and we both actually did practice. We all did practice together, which is quite funny as well. But turn 1 here, on lap 2, we break quite late, and Connor gets the exit of Dreams here, and he gets the move done nicely. So Connor up to P7. I really couldn't fight him off anymore. I mean, hadn't I made the mistakes I did, I was prone to a lot of mistakes in the wet conditions, and that's down to the fact that I wasn't very experienced in these conditions compared to everyone else. And here I didn't get the exit either, sort of followed Coldhead's line, which is pretty easy to do on this game. But we're still in the stream right now. We might have an opportunity, but I just think we're not close enough anyway. So right now, it just really was just me and Coldhead going out for it, and we can see that me and him were lapping quite similarly throughout the whole Grand Prix. And you see, next lap on, we're actually very close to him, and we try and make him move. We go very wide though, very deep, and we didn't get the exit we want. But we were closer than we were the previous lap around when I used a bit of we should use a bit of rich mix here, but we didn't. We were on standard here, and it just again wasn't enough. So it was doing really well defending against him, and it was really clean, and having some nice battles with him and his teammate, my midget, was just really good and awesome. Nuland Das as well. A lot of these guys I actually raced with in season 11 on F15 as well. So I've raced with these guys before, and they're awesome guys, and very respectful guys indeed, and very good league races. But yeah, I was really struggling in that last sector as well. We see how much oversteer we got. I mean, that happened a lot, but by lap 31, our tyres were really going off the cliff here, and we were really struggling. The conditions were worsening. And you see, like, Coldhead, to get to Coldhead, which actually was stabilising. It was pretty much exactly the same for a lot of the race, sort of the 2-second mark. And we were really consistent, actually, sort of from from the 25 onwards, from 25 to 31, it was quite consistent, and we're starting to lose time right now. Mainly because the conditions are getting worse now, and our tyre wear was also becoming a bit of a problem, and I started to worry the last 5 laps to go, because as you can see, that front right tyre has taken a massive battering, and we're on 58% wear on that front right tyre, which is not great. I was really worried about that front tyre, and I had Varsik behind me. He was driving really well. He was keeping in touch with me a lot. I mean, he couldn't make anything stick with me. He couldn't get alongside me, so it was all really good. But this is where things started to go wrong. We get on the curb there, and right to the wall we go, and that was close. And this is where the conditions really worsened, and gap to Coldhead was really growing, and he was really good actually in these conditions. I was just worried about my tyre wear all the time. I was always looking at the tyre wear, which actually is quite distracting. I forgot how distracting it really is, because you're always looking at that front. I was always looking at that front of my tyre. So that front of my tyre was roaringly getting close to 70, and I know on this game, if you get to 75%, look at this. Look, oh my god, no. Just wide we go, and I was really struggling. I refused to lock the front as well. I could have easily locked up there, just let it just drift off, because I did not want to cause that front right tyre any more pain than it already was causing me. And you see how visually wet it is, and it's just getting worse and worse. But Coldhead is stretching the gap up, and he was just much better in these conditions than I was. Here, for example, I just couldn't get the power down, and I really did not want to put it in the wall. I wanted to finish this Grand Prix, and it actually was a very hard one for me. And you see Varsik really was right on us, and it's been, look at how slow this has been. It's been absolutely dreadful. Also, Overstay once again there, and I just struggled with that corner a lot. But so far we're doing really well, and by lap 34, Varsik actually came in the pits, and I think he went on some wet tyres. And I know that someone else did that as well. And you'll see by then, sort of the last laps, you'll see that they're starting to catch me up. And 72% wear right now as well on that front right, and that is marginal. With 2 laps to go, you know, if you get 75% wear, there's a very high risk of getting a puncture, and that was one thing I was worried about. And then now by the end, we've got Nillis, he was actually on the wet compound, and he was catching me like an absolute hawk. Coldhead was gone. He was out my sights, and that's how much I was struggling on these tyres. 74% wear on that front right now as well, and it was just so tricky. It was just horrible. But you know, I was doing quite well, and I think this race was largely positive for me. And we're still just trying to make sure we get to the end. And now I just try and cruise it. I did not want to risk a puncture. I actually knocked the brake balance to 56% instead of 60% to help and to reduce the front locking on the front, so I didn't get a puncture. And that really helped actually get to the end of the Grand Prix, and it really helped us. And look at the oversteer we're getting, just trying to just just keep it straight as we can. It just, oh, it was driving on ice. And you can see it goes to the lead, Nils is getting closing. But Spijsmer won the Grand Prix, but on penalties he didn't end up winning, and you'll see the final results in a second. But that guy, Spijsmer, has been on it all season. It's been really quick, and I've been watching the forums of how he's been doing. He's been awesome, and I know how quick he is on this game, so it'll take some beating if I can beat him in this season, and I'm hoping I can actually near and close the gap to top runners. So I really like to get maybe a victory or so. I don't know if I can, but you know, you never know. But last corner now, we'll come home in P6, and that is a really good result for today in that race, and that was awesome. And just really happy with that result, and that was awesome just to finish there. And that is it. It scored won the race, and that is just congratulations to him. That was just a really good race for us. P6 from 10th to 6th, I think I'll take that. I expect a bit more from that. I could have possibly done better. I mean, arguably, I believe I could have probably got top 5. Hadn't the engineer was talking, if the engineer actually talked to me in that Grand Prix and said about the conditions, I think it could have been a different race. But in the end, P6, it can only get better from here, and that is the main thing. It can only get better, and I'm hoping for better results. Next up is Britain, obviously the last race of the year before we take a year's break. Or take 1 year's break, we're taking to the new year, so that's really good. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sure, leave a thumbs up. And subscribe for more racing content if you're new, and I'll see you for Britain highlights. So thanks guys for watching, and I'm going to leave you with my fastest lap on the 6th compound tyre that I did in practice in the Williams. Thanks guys for watching, I'll see you soon. Bye guys.